Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Married to Medicine, Season 12, Episode 11. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted shows, reality shows, and also the reactions. If you're returning, one of my peoples, welcome back. We find this episode that Angel is also an actress, and she is the lead into this movie. Now, I don't know what the movie is about. I think it's called Sinister. So she invites some of the ladies out for this movie premiere, and I was like, okay, that's cute. That's something different. She used to work as a model, and she was paying her way through nursing school, which I'm not gonna say all, but like that's how like a lot of girls do modeling, exotic dancing, and to go to become a nurse. I'm not saying all of them, but that's like you hear that ever so often. So Simone lets them know that Toya and Eugene will be hosting the couples trip, which a lot of the ladies they not really here for it. But y'all, I think Toya and Eugene will be the best couple. As messy as Toya is, I think their relationship represents like an actual relationship. They're not ones to be putting on airs and acting like they never fight or anything. They've showed the good and the bad of marriage. They showed them being in debt and having issues with their taxes and how they was overcoming that. They show what it's like her being a stay-at-home mom, him being a doctor, them taking care of their kids. Like they showed the real them. Like I'm pretty sure it's not 100, but compared to the other couples, like Heavenly and Damon, the way that they act like their relationship is the best thing in the world, like they never fight, they always agree, is unrealistic to me. I don't even look at Jackie and Curtis as having a relationship as like we're married, but like this is just like for front. Simone and Cecil look like they ready to divorce every 15 seconds. So like out of everybody, it seemed like they have, I don't want to say the best, but like the most what most marriages look like. I should say it like that. Now they get into the premiere and Contessa, she is knocked out sleeping in them chairs, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like that's how my mama is. One, my mama, she don't really do movies. My mama, when we used to have family movie night, I'm telling you, my mama 5 minutes in, she's walking out and going into the other room. My husband is the same way. I put on a doggone special the other night, and within 2 minutes he was knocked out asleep. So like maybe like the darkness just like pulls you in, but she was all the way knocked out asleep, and I was over here cracking up at the situation because like I just can't just fall asleep in the movie theaters. Like fall asleep during a movie, yes, but that's usually when I'm like trying to watch something at night, and I'm at the age where I can't really stay up like that for real, for real. But like she was all, I mean, snoring, back, mouth wide open, sleeping, and I'm just sitting there cracking up about the whole situation. They haven't even gotten to their destination, which is Jamaica, and they're already having issues. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like all kind of issues with the flights. Curtis, he off golfing in Canada, so he not gonna be there for a good little minute. Scott, y'all know he just had cataract surgery. He's having some issues with that. So he's like, he can't really fly right now because the doctors know this. The rest of them are having flights, like they're on different flights. Some flights got canceled, some flights got delayed. And I'm like, that is one of my worst fears of flying. And this is what we're going to talk about me a little bit. I am always scared that I'm going to get on a plane and they're going to come around and look directly at me like, I want you to give up your seat. And me being a person, I'm not going to want to give up my seat. And I don't want, I don't say I'm going to act up on the plane because I would never do that, because one thing I never want to do is go to jail. But I would be upset that I'm being the one that they be like, I want you to give up your seat and we'll give you a certain amount of money, especially if I'm trying to get to this destination. That's one thing I'm scared of. But all the times I've flown, I've only had 3 instances where the plane didn't take off on time. The first time when I was going out of town for a funeral, our flight was supposed to board at like 3:15, and it is 3:30, and like we're still having issues. I was flying out of Houston going to Atlanta, then going to Indiana. But in Atlanta, they was having some issues with the weather, so therefore we couldn't leave Houston yet. And we was behind. We didn't get on the plane until like 5, and then we was stuck on the plane for like 45 minutes. Only for me to get to Atlanta, get to my area, 20 minutes later, they talking about some, oh yeah, your gate has changed. So now we gotta move gates. Now, luckily, the gate was still in, I think it was like Terminal C or something like that, or Concourse C. So I didn't have far to walk, which I appreciate. That's the first time I had issues on the plane. The second time, 2021, me and my husband are coming back from Georgia visiting my family for Christmas. We at the airport. We at the airport early. We are at our gate, and I'm always looking on my phone and everything. And I just happen to turn around, and up on the screen it says a flight to Houston has been canceled. And I'm like, did that say our flight just got canceled? And everybody look around. I'm like, oh my goodness. The next thing you know, on the intercom, yeah, the flight to 7 p.m. to Houston has been canceled. Go over there and try to change it. When I tell you, they was like, you could be on standby for like at 11 in the morning. I don't want to be put on standby. I want to have a guaranteed ticket. So we weren't able to fly out to the next evening. A full, more than 24 hours later. Luckily, they gave us a voucher to get a hotel room, which I appreciate that. And they gave us some vouchers to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner throughout the hotel. I appreciate that. The worst experience I had flying was in 2024. Now, this is when the airlines was having all those issues with the computers. So I get to Atlanta, and my mind, now granted at the time it made sense, but afterwards it didn't make sense. I was like, okay, so since the computers are down, I'm not going to use my Delta app. I'm just going to get a paper ticket because they can scan that. Yes, it's a computer, but in my mind, a paper would have been better than, using my app. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to check my bag because I had overpacked. Because I had bought some stuff when I was in Georgia. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to check my bag so I don't have to be carrying that throughout the airport. Why was I in line to check my bag for 45 minutes? Yeah. And the crazy part is, TSA was the shortest I ever been. I was in and out of TSA in 5 minutes. In the Atlanta airport. I get on the train. I get off of my concourse. When I tell you everybody in the world was there. It was so many people in the airport. There were no seats. There were people all throughout the walkway. Down, like, once you get into the airport, by, like, check-in and all this stuff, people just sitting around on the floor. You get to your doggone concourse, people are sitting in the walkway. Every seat was packed. Once I got there, I was like, okay, I'm going to use the restroom. Then I'm going to go get me some snacks. I get to my gate. I see people in line about to board. So I'm like, okay, they're about to board. Everything going to be cool. I'm standing there for 20 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm going to go walk around because my feet start to hurt. I got this heavy backpack on because I overstuffed. Okay, cool. Come back. People still in the same spot. So I was like, I'm going to go over here, stand. I'm standing over in another area for 15 minutes. I was like, you know what? I can't stand no more because my feet is hurting. So I'm going to sit on the ground. When I tell you, I got a message saying that my flight that was supposed to be at 4, no, I think it was supposed to be at 1 or something. My flight wasn't going to be until 7. What? I'm going to be stuck here all this time? If I knew that, I would have stayed at my mama's house. But I didn't know that. So finally, somebody gets out of the seat. And I cannot tell you to this day how I was able to get up, grab my stuff, and get in that seat before somebody else did. And I was just hoping that I found out later that it was a handicapped seat. And I was like, oh, snap. If that didn't make that matters worse, I'm steady scrolling on my app to see about the flight. They have changed our gate to a whole different gate. So now I'm like, what if I get to this new gate and there's nowhere to sit? Thank goodness that there was when I got to the gate. I was like, okay, it's free over here. I'm gonna use the restroom now, and I'm not getting back up. But I was in that airport for so long, and like my feet started hurting. I was swelling up. It was just horrible. So like, that was my, I don't say horror of dealing with flying, but yeah, I know what it's like to, you know, have issues with at the airport and with the plane. But Simone, she is in her confessional talking about some. She is diamond medallion, and she wasn't gonna give up her seat being diamond medallion on Delta to fly Frontier with Cecil. And I kind of sort of agree. I wouldn't want to give up my first class status with the airport that I like and love to fly Frontier. That would probably be messed up for me to say, but I was like, I see what you're saying, girl. I see. Most of the group can go out partying. Now, they know better than that. Because they know that they have gotten to the age where, you know, even a little bit of partying will set you back for 4 business days. But they didn't heed those warnings, so they went out. And since everybody is over 40, they paying for it. Now, I don't go out drinking because I don't drink and I don't go out clubbing. I've been to the club one time in my life after I turned 21 just because my cousin wanted to take me. And I was like, I would rather be at home. It is too many people here. It was too overstimulating for me. But I'm not knocking anybody who does that. But what I'm saying is, I understand what it's like to... I remember what it was like me being 20s. How, like, nothing affected me. Now... if I sleep wrong, I'm messed up for at least 4 hours afterwards. Like, I now come to the age where I gotta be a rotisserie chicken. If I lay on that side too long, I'm gonna start getting sore. Like, I'm waking up with random pains and not understanding how I was just sleeping. How do you hurt yourself while you sleeping? That's another thing. Like, I bumped my arm when I'm younger. Now I gotta sit there and stand still for a second for the pain to go away. Like, I can't deal with pain and walking at the same time. It's very frustrating. People did prepare me for that, but I'm like, y'all exaggerating until it happens to you. I say all that to say, y'all know better and y'all should have did better, and now you're paying for it. Yeah, I want to heavily to just hush. So they have gotten to their location where they're going to be helping out some locals and everything, which I do appreciate what they do with their outreach works. That is one thing I do like about this show. And I hope that, you know, even when the cameras are not rolling, they're doing these type of activities. But Toya's basically like, yes, we've been arguing and fussing on this Sprinter van, but like, once we get into this location, let's put all that behind us and focus on the work we're here to do. Now, this is when Damon interrupts her and he wants to start talking, but Toya is already talking, and Heavenly's sitting there talking about something. Let Daddy speak. It's like, first of all, Heavenly, Toya was already speaking to the group about, like, let's be professional. Let's not come in here and act in all kind of ways, because we're here to help some people out. And Damon took it upon himself to put his 2 cents in. And since this is Damon talking, Heavenly feels that everybody should shut up and listen. And, like, I don't always agree with Toya, but, like, Toya, she was in the right this time. She was talking. Damon is the one who interrupted. He was the one that was being rude. But anyways, they get to the location. Curtis has showed up, and Curtis is letting us know that he would rather be out golfing than here with Jackie and the group, because he was in first place in his little golf tournament that he was doing, and he had to give that up to be here. And it's like, Curtis, he is no longer even acting like he wants to be here or even be with Jackie. He was like, I was in first place, and, you know, I was having me a good old time, and now I had to get it up to be here. I'm like, okay, Curtis, it's clear to us that you don't want to be here. Okay, cool, we got it. So they're handing out what should be basic necessities for people, but these people are, a lot of the people in this area are living in poverty. And they can't afford what we feel like basic necessities, like toothbrush, toothpaste, sanitary napkins for the young ladies, things like that. The things that we take for granted, like they are hard up for, and they're appreciative that somebody is coming along and helping us out. And I do appreciate, the people, the couples speaking, I won't say life into it, but encouragement into the young people, like showing them that you can make something of yourself, believe in yourself, and work hard. And that is one thing I do appreciate that they did. Like, don't let where you're from determine your outcome. Try to work hard and make something better of yourself. And this is when, like, I have like a love-hate relationship when, like, people go to these destinations, because you're coming here to have a good time, to escape from your life, going to a place to where a lot of the people there are, living in almost poverty. And it's like, y'all coming here for a vacation where these people who live here are struggling. But it's like, then, like, everybody would be struggling if they didn't have certain places where people with money comes to spend money. So it's like, I'm always torn about that. But I'm glad that the group came along and was talking. But, like, when Heavenly got up and, like, the kids were, like, offended because she was, kept on saying damn. But, like, this is Heavenly. But it's like, yes, these are kids. But she don't see them as damn as a bad word. But for the kids, they just seem like, oh my goodness, like you really talking about this? She was trying to be encouragement, but like in the heavenly way, which, when you're not used to like that, it'll throw you off type of situation. Yeah, that was the gist. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It is free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are on, so when my beautiful face puts up a video, you can click on it, you can like it, you can share it with your people, and you can come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.